Hi, I'm world famous artist and Stone Cold Fox Danny Wetmore. And I'm here to show you how I start a painting. Let's do it. Let's do it. Okay, cut now. Cut now, Danny. Cut. The first thing that I'm going to do with a painting, the very first thing to do is just start. I know that the blank piece of paper can be scary, but if you just start doing something, you'll make more progress than if you hadn't started at all, right? So best tips to get started with a painting is have like a dedicated painting area if you can. I have a sketchbook with watercolors that I take with me so that no matter where I'm at, I can try things and try techniques and stuff. But if you prefer working at home in the studio kind of environment, just remember that the settings are never going to be perfect for you to start. Just start. Have a little spot ready with some things. I like having these kind of gel, I think they're jelly, that's what they are, jelly gouache. They're always wet. You have to kind of maintain them and make sure that they stay mixed and stuff like that. But the nice thing about having that is your paints are always ready to go. So you don't have to be worrying about, tubes and making a mess and blah, 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 blah. And then I just have a little spatula thing that I scrape out bits of paint that I want. That's the best thing to do to get started, is just to have a good spot ready to go. Okay, now to actually start on this painting, this is a commission piece that I'm getting to work on here. The first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to lay down an underpainting. The point of an underpainting is to, it gives some extra life to the painting, or it can imply some colors. If you're trying to really make something have an air of believability to it, you need to have a consistent color throughout the entire painting. And a good time to do that is at the very beginning, before you've gotten too bogged down in all the decisions that you have to make going forward. So I've done a little sketch of what we're going to be doing today. It's a kind of a farm scene. The shadows are at an angle, so I'm doing a little bit of an orange color to imply kind of a sunrise or a sunset, but maybe a little bit more yellow than orange. So I've got some yellow here, and I might put a little orange in it in a second. But first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get my paper nice and ready as I can make it to try to prevent buckling when I start my big wash. Okay, now grab just a little bit of orange. And I'm just going to use a big old chip brush here. Now, my idea is for this wash, I want to go yellow for my underpainting, and I want to go stronger color down the bottom, weaker color up at the top. And I'm just looking at my reference photo to decide if there's any other spots that I want to put some of this yellow to make sure that we get it. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to take a little orange, a little more orange, and just drop some of that in here. Again, we still got a nice wet wash, just to show that there's a little bit more going on up front here. start to get a little bit more detail as we get a little closer to the camera, right? Maybe I can apply some shadow shapes there. And maybe some of these little tree shadow shapes here, just to start to give me a little bit more to work with. Okay, and then my final step here quickly, I'm going to try to get a little bit of the pigment out of the top parts of the sky. It can stay where my clouds are going to be, so I can roughly say, I don't know, something like that, mostly toward the top. If I can get that back to white, that's what I want. This is kind of cool. I got like a hard edge down here. Okay. I got some yellow through my trees here. I'm liking these effects. I might come in. This is neat. I got another second or two here before my pigment dries to the point that I would have problems with it. When you add in other colors, sometimes you can get some weird looking effects. If you wait, there's like a time that you can add colors on your paper when it's still wet, and then there's a time where it's not, the pigment hasn't like seeded into the paper, but if you add pigment at that time, it's going to cause all these crazy, they're called cauliflowers. Sometimes they actually look really cool, and sometimes it's what you're going for, but it is kind of noticeable, these like splotches of weird paint color, and then it kind of like spreads out white around it. So you want to make time-based decisions about when to add colors and mix colors and when to stop mixing colors and just let it dry and come back to another wash. So I'm just about at that stage where I've got some nice lights in here, some nice oranges that I really dig. And I am liking my my line down here at the bottom. I think it gives me a nice border. I wasn't really expecting that. I wasn't thinking about that the pigment would all kind of drain and collect down here. But I think it looks actually pretty darn neat. So I'm just going to leave it, and I'm going to let this dry, and then we'll come back and try to attack this darn sky.
I made that.